Hello, and welcome to the story of how I offended about 100 women in one fell swoop. Now, it's worth noting that while I can tell a reasonably entertaining story, I am not actually the most witty person in the world. And usually, when you get the opportunity to be witty or quick or come up with a zingy one liner, my usual response is to say nothing, say something really inappropriate, or more likely, just say something boring, and then about a week later at 2 o'clock in the morning, wake up and go, oh, I just said that. That would have been really clever. So I usually am witty, but about 2 weeks later. So this is the one time that I thought I was actually really clever, and it got me into quite a lot of trouble all in one go with about 100 women. So I was doing I was completing a course at the time for HRM or Human Relations Management, and my diploma in HRM, it's not my primary qualification, which is in computer science, but my primary qualification aside, I figured that I actually had, just by happenstance at university, I had about half of the papers I needed to get a secondary qualification, to get this diploma in HR. And this one course, which was a night class, was industrial psychology, and it's supposedly telling us about a whole range of different elements of psychology around how bosses and institutions tend to interact with their employees and unions and all of that good stuff. So it's supposedly a practical course for industrial relations, industrial psychology. And when I took this, I didn't realize it, but I was one of about 3 guys who took the course. And, without being particularly sexist about it, because this is just a fact, in that particular instance of that particular course, it was all women. Like, it was just like, there was a lecture theater with 100 or so people in it. It was like me and 2 other guys. And there were just no guys around. And it was taught by a female professor as well. So there were virtually no guys. So I, of course, take it on myself at one point to speak up for guys, which is never a good idea, especially not with that audience. But we were in a lecture, and the professor said something that I fundamentally disagreed with. And she just throwaway comment. She said something along the lines of, women feel emotions more strongly than men do. And so I'm just like, hang on, stick my hand up. Miss, can talk to me. That doesn't sound right. And so my argument, and I laid it out probably less articulately than this, was basically twofold. No one has been both a man and a woman, so you have no point of comparison. There's no real way you can objectively measure how much someone is feeling an emotion. You might be able to get away with something like saying that women display more emotions than men, but it's probably pretty hard to say that they feel more emotions than men. So I made that point, more or less, in those words. And the lecturer, before she could respond, probably reasonably intelligently, I would like to assume, this crazy lady in front of me, and it's a stacked theater, and so we're in terraced rows, she's directly in front of me. She turns around and she looks at me and she said, no, it's true. And so she's responding on behalf of the lecturer who just lets her talk. And she's like, no, it's true and I can prove it. And I'm like, okay, please prove it. So, well, when women try and commit suicide, they try and fail. It's a cry for help. When men try and commit suicide, they try and succeed. And it's an act of ending their lives. And I'm just like, what? How does mentally going over in my mind, that doesn't answer my point. It doesn't even make sense. It's not necessarily even true. None of these things seem right. When women try and commit suicide, they fail, and when men try and commit suicide, they succeed. So instead of having a rational debate and entering into the academic spirit of it and asking her to elaborate on or justify her opinions, or possibly bypassing her and going to the professor, all sorts of rational ways I could have dealt with that situation, what I actually said was, that's just a competency problem. And the look I got from every woman in that course at the same moment in time was absolutely priceless. And it was one of the few times that I genuinely can say that I actually said the right or possibly wrong thing at that moment. And I was just like, yes, I got it. And it's like, I'm witty. crap, I am not going to have any friends in this course, am I? Like, I am just now persona non grata. Like, no one wants to talk to me. So that was the one time I've been genuinely quite funny. And it ruined my chances with probably about 100 women in one go, which is like a personal record for me. Although one that I think I may have broken since then. But anyway, that's how to offend 100 or so women in one go. So yeah, take my advice. Don't do that. Cheers.
Hello, it's the end of the video, so it's a random picture and story time. But before that, if you've ever offended anybody, either intentionally or by accident, please do let us know in the comments below. So this is a picture of a cat we saw in Marrakesh, Morocco, and the story we can tell about that is actually the story associated with the photo itself. And there is a local saying in Marrakesh, which is every cat has his butchers, which we certainly found to be true. Well, at least we can tell you that every butcher's had several cats around it. So everybody, cheers and thanks for watching. Bye.